how to make sushi, and specifically sweet chili sushi, because that is the best in my opinion. So what we're going to need to make this is we're going to need some rice. You can use sushi rice, but I've got a sheet that makes making sushi a whole lot cheaper by using cheap rice and just cooking it really badly so that it turns out gluggy. But in this case, that's good. So you're also going to need some water, and you can make your own sweet chili chicken. I'm cheating and using the stuff that was on special. Rice wine vinegar, or I've got my hands on some sushi seasoning, so I'm going to give that a try. Some soy sauce, and then to also put in my sushi with my chicken, I got a cucumber, some avocado, of course our sushi paper to dress it, some poppy seeds and some sesame seeds, and then this one's optional but I really like it on sushi, is Kewpie mayo. So it's like a mayonnaise that's like an Asian mayonnaise that's extra bad for you, but really good. Like, as in really delicious. So yeah, we will get started on the rice. And if you're going to be making your own sushi, I think it's best to, say if you're making it for dinner, to start ahead of time so that your ingredients have time to chill, because I think sushi's a lot better when you eat it when it's cold, not warm. So we're going to get started on the rice. Alright, so first things first, we're going to make our gluggy rice. And if you're using like proper sushi rice, you do not need to worry about making it extra gluggy. It's designed so that it will go gluggy on its own. But this saves you a fair bit of money, even if it doesn't quite get texture like it does in a sushi shop. But, I mean, have you seen the price of sushi rice? Yeah, not paying that. So, to make gluggy rice, you need a stovetop with a big pot. And then you need, well, in this instance, I need just under 2 cups of my super cheap long grain white rice. And then I need 5 cups of water, which I conveniently already measured out in this thing. Then I'm going to turn the heat on to probably high to start with to get it boiling. So you'll have noticed that I didn't rinse the rice before I put it in the water, and that's because we want the starches in there still, because that helps to make the rice stick together, which is what we want in this instance because we're making sushi. So that's why I didn't rinse it. So yeah, we've got that on 9, which is the highest my oven will go to. We've put the lid on, and now we're just going to let it simmer away until it's gluggy. Well, until it's gluggy, until almost no water remains. So once this starts boiling, I'll turn the temperature down a bit so that it doesn't overflow. Yeah, that's how you make gluggy rice. Hello! So we're just going to start on the chicken now. So, because I've got the chicken that came frozen from Woolies, I'm just going to chuck it in the oven according to package directions. But I think I'll take the moment right now while we're talking about chicken to mention that, like, you can substitute any of the fillings in this video with whatever you please. I'm just doing this one because it was on special and I like sweet chili chicken and I don't really like raw fish that much. But really, I think the art for making good sushi doesn't come down to what you necessarily put in it, though that's pretty important. But what'll make it or break it or make it good sushi is the way that you roll it. So most of this video is going to focus on how to set yourself up so that you've got sushi that's easy to roll and stays intact when you bite into it. But anyway, we got the chicken, we're going to put it in the oven. I think it takes like 20 minutes. Probably should have checked that before I threw the packet in the bin. But here we go. Hello, we're back again. We've got our gluggy rice here. It's nice and sticky. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add either your sushi seasoning or your rice wine vinegar to our hot, sticky rice. So if you're using rice wine vinegar, you only need 1 teaspoon per cup of cooked rice. And I've never used the sushi seasoning before, but according to the instructions on the bottle, You need about 3 tablespoons per cup of cooked rice. So I'm going to start out with that, which is a little less than what I've got in here because I've got about 2 cups. Just mix it through. Have a taste. Yep, that is not overpowering at all. So now that I've established that that is not overpowering, I'm going to add a little more. As in the correct amount. The rice wine vinegar is a lot more overpowering than the sushi seasoning, and I have a feeling the sushi seasoning is going to be a bit tastier and more true to like the actual sushi flavours. Taste again. Yep, it's good. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is transfer the rice into here and then chill it until I'm ready to wrap my sushi. Alright, so now we're up to the fun part of sushi making, and that's actually rolling your sushi. So you want to get one of your sushi seaweed sheets, and you want to make sure that it's, I don't know if you can see in this video, but there's a shiny side and there's like a rougher side. So you want to put it rough side up on your sushi mat. These are pretty cheap and well worth the investment, by the way, so you should definitely buy one if you think that you're going to make sushi a lot. It makes your life so much easier. Then you've got your cooled rice mix. If yours is a bit dry, you can add a little bit of water to it to make it like not so dry. And then you just want to put the rice on the sushi paper and press it down with the back of a spoon. And you want to get this rice layer as thin as you can, while simultaneously making sure that it's like a consistent, even layer that like covers everything. And you also want to get it as close to the edge as possible. So then once you've got that, you'll want to put your fillings in, and you'll want your fillings about that far from the end of this section of the sushi. So you want to put it right there like that.
Stop.
Then you want to put your cucumber on. You want to try and get your fillings to practically be sitting on top of each other. Just trying to pick a few. Avocado, butter knife. Kewpie mayonnaise. Then for the roll, so you pick it up from this end and you try and roll it directly on top of itself super quickly like that. So like that. And then you don't need, you really need your bamboo mat anymore. and you just keep rolling. So if you've done this right, your sushi shouldn't feel dry anymore. It should feel sort of, not wet, but kind of like it does at the shop, I guess. Like, you know, like it's got like kind of elasticy. Alright, so when you get to this bit, you just dip your thumb in your little water you've got there. And you run, don't shake it off. And you run it along this little centimetre gap we've left. Roll it directly over and just sort of massage it for a little bit over that. Then do a complete one. Identify the spot where the seam is. Run over it again with a little more water just to be extra sure. You might not need it depending on how liberal you were with the water the first time, but it probably will. Roll again. And then you move on to chopping your sushi. Alright, so now that we've got our sushi roll, you could eat it as a whole roll if you wanted to, but the best thing to do, I think, is to cut it into little pieces. So you want to smack the ends with the knife. So you want the biggest, sharpest knife you can find. Then you want to wet your knife a bit. So you just get the water you used from before. Wet it. Be careful. Don't want to lose any fingers. And then you either want to cut it, then you want to cut it into however many pieces you want. So I think 8 is a really good, like if you cut this into 8 pieces, that's really good and very bite-sized, but it can be a bit difficult to do, especially if you're learning. So if you're learning, I recommend starting by cutting it into 6. So you just want to cut it in half to start with. Then if you were going to cut it into 6, you'd make a cut there and a cut there. But seeing as we're cutting into 8, we'll cut it in half again. And then again. And again. You'll notice I'm sort of sawing ever so slightly when I get to the chicken. And that's okay, you've just got to be careful. It's like a matter of judgment. If you can slice through it, it's better. And you want to try and stop slicing when you get to the bottom, because otherwise you'll disfigure your sushi. But if you try and chop straight through the chicken, it can sometimes end up being a bit, yeah. And the end bits are always the hardest ones to chop. So there we go. We've got some beautiful sushi. You might need to rearrange a couple of them to get them back to the correct shape. Then we'll put them on this plate with some ones I did earlier. And for presentation, you'd want to put the ones that were on the ends. Just see how that butt there looks kind of a bit messy, but if you do it up like that, it's beautiful. So yeah. So there's also some ones I prepared earlier on there that I kind of put too much rice on. So these are the good ones with less rice. Then all you want to do after that is sprinkle on your poppy seeds and your sesame seeds. So this is for decoration, so you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But seeds are really good for you, so I don't think a few seeds go astray. And voila, there you have it, your very own homemade, delicious, sweet chili chicken with cucumber and avocado sushi. And that goes great with, if you like my partner, you can serve it with even more Kewpie mayo or soy sauce. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you've got the feeling a bit confident to try and make your own sushi. Any questions, please comment, and thank you for watching.